Welcome to English Weaver. Today we share the story of Vincent van Gogh, a painter whose life is full of color and emotion. Don't forget to subscribe to get new stories and learn English through story, and enjoy the journey with us. Vincent van Gogh is a name we all know, yet his life was a mix of joy and pain. His bold brush strokes changed art forever, and his journey inspires us to dream big and feel deeply as we learn English together. In today's episode, we start at the moment Vincent felt the spark of art in his heart. He saw simple fields and ordinary people, and he saw beauty where others saw plainness, a gift that led him down an amazing path. Picture a young man walking in the green fields of Holland, with a sketchbook in hand and hope in his eyes, eager to capture the world in simple lines and soft colors, ready to learn and to grow. This is the story of courage and passion, of a man who painted sunflowers and nights full of stars. It is also the story of struggle, of a heart that felt too much, of shadows creeping into bright visions. Today we open the door to Vincent's life, a life that speaks to all of us. We begin with the spark of his early dreams, the first steps of a young boy who chose art over comfort and security. As we learn English through his story, remember that each word is a brushstroke, shaping your language skills and your imagination. Let's dive in and meet Vincent, a man driven by emotion and color. Before we move on, please hit the like button if you love art and history, and leave a comment to tell us your favorite painting or color palette. Your support helps us bring more stories to life. Now, let us step into the first chapter of Vincent's journey, a chapter of curiosity and wonder, of simple beginnings that grew into a world of vibrant art and deep feeling. Vincent was born on March 30th, 1853, in the village of Zundert in southern Holland. He was the eldest son of a pastor and his wife, and his family home stood near green fields. From a young age, nature surrounded him and filled his heart with wonder. His parents, especially his mother, encouraged creativity. They gave him drawing materials when he was very small. In their quiet home, Vincent would often sketch simple scenes of flowers and trees, amazed by light and shadow as he learned his first strokes. Vincent had 3 brothers and 1 sister. Though he loved them, he often felt shy among children. Instead, he found comfort in long walks through fields. There he carried a small sketchbook and practiced drawing cottages, fences, and birds, learning by watching. At age 10, Vincent began formal schooling at a local school in Zundert. He studied reading, writing, and arithmetic. He was a quiet student who liked drawing during lessons. His teachers noticed his art, but he struggled with strict rules and preferred freedom. In 1864, his family moved to Tilburg for better schools. Vincent attended a boarding school where he tried oil paints for the first time. He painted simple landscapes from memory, inspired by his walks. Yet he missed home and the calm of his village. At 14, Vincent was sent to secondary school in Zevenbergen. He was a good learner but missed his art tools. He borrowed pencils from friends and drew in the margins of his notebooks. His sketches showed promise and his passion grew stronger every day. Vincent's father hoped he would work in the church. He encouraged him to be a preacher like himself. Vincent helped in the local church and read the Bible, but he found more joy in painting the world around him than speaking from the pulpit. By age 16, Vincent left school and took a job at Goupil & Cie, an art dealership in The Hague. He cataloged paintings and learned different styles. This job opened his eyes to great artists and inspired him further, though he felt he was only at the beginning. The large city felt busy and cold to Vincent, who missed the calm of home. He often walked in sea wind near the coast, sketching fishermen and boats. These trips gave him new subjects and showed him the power of simple lives and strong people. Vincent's early sketches were rough but full of feeling. His pencil lines were bold, his shading dark. He studied prints of Rembrandt and Delacroix at the gallery, copying their work to learn their techniques, though he soon sought his own style. In 1873, Vincent moved to London to work at another gallery branch. He lived with his brother Theo, who always supported him. Theo believed in Vincent's talent and sent him letters with encouragement and money, a bond that shaped Vincent's journey. In London, Vincent met different people, from workers to poets. He saw street life and painted small scenes of city markets. He learned that art could tell stories of real people, of hope and hardship, and this idea stayed with him for life. During these years, Vincent's home was in Theo's small apartment. They shared meals and talked about art into late hours. Theo listened and gave advice, while Vincent sketched his brother's likeness, capturing warmth and strength in simple lines. Vincent's health sometimes faltered. He fell ill with colds and fever while painting outdoors in cold weather. Still, his determination drove him to finish sketches quickly. He believed that capturing a moment was more important than comfort. As a young man, Vincent began to explore the Spanish masters he admired. He studied their dark backgrounds and bright subjects, and he tried to mix deep browns with vivid yellows. His palette started to reflect these contrasts. Even in hardship, Vincent felt joy when painting. He once wrote letters describing sunlit houses and green fields with golden light. That magic of color and light became the heartbeat of his art, shaped by his childhood in Holland. In this period, Vincent learned by doing. He practiced drawing everyday objects, glasses, boots, apples, until they seemed alive on paper. His studies taught him line and form, and his confidence grew as each sketch taught him more. By the end of his childhood years, Vincent carried his sketchbook everywhere. He drew on train rides, in cafes, and by canals. Each page held a piece of his memory, a scrap of beauty he wished to share with the world. His roots of family, faith, and nature shaped a young artist eager for more. As his sketches grew in confidence, Vincent felt ready to explore new places and galleries, stepping boldly into his career. Vincent's path into art was not smooth, but it was full of passion. In his 20s, he began to study art more seriously, deciding he would no longer sell paintings but create them himself. He moved to Brussels to take formal lessons in drawing. He studied anatomy and perspective, trying to improve his technique. Though the school was helpful, Vincent often felt bored by the rules. Instead of copying others, he wanted to express feeling. He believed that art should speak from the heart. So, he left the academy and continued learning on his own, drawing the poor and working class. Vincent returned to the countryside in the Netherlands, where he painted farmers, weavers, and peasants. He admired their hard work and quiet strength, and his paintings captured their deep humanity. His colors were still dark then, earthy browns, grays, and blacks, but even without bright tones, his art showed emotion. One of his first major works was The Potato Eaters, painted in 1885. The Potato Eaters showed a poor family eating a simple meal by lamplight. Their faces were rough, their hands tired. Vincent wanted to show their real life, not beauty but honesty and dignity. The painting was powerful, but not everyone liked it. Some critics said it was ugly, others didn't understand why he painted poor people. But Vincent stood by his work. He said, "I want to paint what I feel." Around this time, his brother Theo encouraged him to move to Paris. Theo worked in an art gallery there and believed Vincent would be inspired by the city's new ideas and bright colors. In 1886, Vincent moved to Paris. The city was full of light, movement, and energy. He met other painters like Toulouse-Lautrec, Pissarro, and Gauguin. Their styles influenced him deeply. He began to study Japanese prints too. He loved their flat color and clean lines. Vincent mixed these ideas into his own work, and his colors became brighter, his brushwork bolder. His paintings changed completely. He painted flowers, streets, and cafes with thick strokes and vivid shades. Blue, yellow, red, and green danced across his canvases like never before. He also began to experiment with self-portraits. He painted himself over 30 times, trying to understand his own mind and feelings through color and texture. Yet Paris was tiring. The noise, the rush, the crowded streets, it wore him out. In 1888, Vincent left the city and headed south to Arles in search of peace and light. The sunlight in Arles amazed him. He wrote to Theo, "The whole world seems to shine here." He painted wheat fields, olive trees, and small houses with yellow walls. This was the period when he painted some of his most famous works: Sunflowers, The Yellow House, and The Bedroom. Each piece was full of color, life, and movement. Vincent hoped to start an art community in Arles. He invited Paul Gauguin to join him, dreaming of days full of painting and sharing ideas. At first, things went well. They painted side by side, drank wine, and spoke of art for hours. But their personalities clashed. Gauguin was proud and confident, Vincent emotional and intense. Their friendship turned into conflict. They argued often, and one night, during a terrible breakdown, Vincent cut off part of his ear. This tragic event marked a turning point in his life. He was taken to the hospital, weak and confused. Gauguin left Arles soon after, and Vincent felt deeply alone. Still, he kept painting whenever he could, using color to fight his sadness. After leaving the hospital, he entered an asylum in Saint-Rémy. It was a quiet place, surrounded by gardens and hills. There he painted with a calm but heavy heart. In Saint-Rémy, he created The Starry Night, a painting that has become one of the most loved works in the world. With swirling skies and glowing stars, it showed the beauty of a restless mind. He also painted the hospital's corridors, its gardens, and nearby olive trees. His brush strokes became more emotional and his colors more dreamlike. Painting helped Vincent stay hopeful. Each canvas was a battle against despair. Even in his darkest days, he created with purpose and courage. In 1890, he left the asylum and moved to Auvers-sur-Oise, near Paris, to be closer to Theo. There, he met Dr. Gachet, who cared for him and supported his art. In just 70 days, Vincent painted over 70 works, fields, cottages, and portraits. His style was confident and full of energy, with strong lines and rich colors. These final paintings showed both beauty and sorrow. Wide skies, golden fields, and dark birds hinted at the storm inside him, yet his love for life never fully faded. Though his career was short, Vincent created over 2,000 artworks. Most were never sold during his lifetime, yet his passion never faded. He painted not for fame, but for truth. His brush was his voice. His colors were his feelings. Through every canvas, he told the world who he was: an artist, a dreamer, a man who saw beauty even in sadness. His career, though full of pain, gave birth to masterpieces that continue to inspire. From simple sketches to vibrant paintings, his art became a mirror of the human soul. Looking back, it's clear that Vincent's success was not measured by wealth or fame, but by honesty, heart, and the courage to keep going even when the world didn't understand. Money was scarce, and he sold few paintings. Letters from Theo arrived with small sums, but they barely covered his needs. Worry clung to Vincent like a shadow, even on sunny days under the Yellow House's walls. The conflict with Gauguin weighed heavily on him. Each argument cut deeper than any brushstroke. Vincent longed for friendship, yet his moods and intensity drove others away, leaving him feeling both proud and deeply lonely. The day he cut part of his ear was the darkest moment. Pain and confusion mixed as he clutched a blood-stained cloth. In that instant, art and anguish blurred, revealing how fragile his spirit had become. After the injury, the doctor bandaged him and urged rest. But rest did not come. Vincent's mind raced with guilt and shame. He feared judgment more than poverty, and he wrapped himself in silence. In the Arles hospital, voices echoed in empty halls. Vincent sketched feverish dreams on scraps of paper as if he could capture his pain and turn it into beauty. Yet the asylum's walls felt like prison bars. Nights brought vivid nightmares and sleepless hours. He wandered corridors under pale moonlight, clutching his coat and his sketchbook, hoping that lines and colors could calm the storm inside him. News of his breakdown reached Theo in Paris. With love and concern, Theo wrote letters urging rest and treatment. Yet every word of comfort arrived too late, lost in Vincent's swirling thoughts. In May 1889, Vincent entered the Saint-Rémy asylum. The gardens and olive trees offered peace, but his mind remained restless. He questioned every brushstroke, every choice of color, fearing he had lost his gift. Doctors observed him closely, worried by his mood swings. One day he laughed in bright sunshine, the next he wept under gray skies. Friends visited, but many stayed away, unsure how to help a man they barely understood. Vincent believed painting might heal him. He worked with fierce determination, layering thick paint on canvas to show his feelings. Yet each finished work felt like a confession he could not hide. Letters reveal his inner battles. He wrote of despair that pulled him toward darkness, yet he also shared hopes that art would save him. These words showed a heart torn between life and pain. Sometimes he painted the starry night sky from memory, hoping its whirl of color would soothe his mind. But the swirling patterns mirrored the turmoil within, reminding him how closely beauty and fear can touch. Despite these struggles, he kept faith in his work. He believed that the world would one day understand his vision. This hope, fragile yet bright, drove him to pick up his brush each morning. Theo's support was Vincent's anchor. Through letters and occasional visits, Theo reminded him that he was not alone. This bond kept Vincent tethered to hope when all else seemed lost. Still, rejection followed him. Galleries closed their doors and critics dismissed his style as strange. Each rejection felt like another failure, yet Vincent refused to stop painting what he felt. He grew thin and frail, his health suffering under the weight of his mind. Fever and fatigue struck often. Yet he continued to paint winter landscapes, feeling that even cold days held lessons in endurance. Outside, world's praise was scarce. Inside, his art spoke volumes. Each stroke of yellow in a sunflower, each swirl in a night sky, carried fragments of his soul. Fragments he poured onto canvas amid tears. In autumn 1889, he painted the asylum's courtyard with vivid greens and blues. The scene looked peaceful, but his letters tell of nights filled with dread and loneliness, of dreams that slipped through his fingers. Misunderstandings followed every step. Some saw his art as madness, not genius. Vincent felt the sting of judgment more keenly than physical pain, as if the world refused to see his heart beneath the paint. One winter night, Vincent stared at his footprints in snow outside his window. The cold wind bit his cheeks, yet he felt warmth in his hand from the brush he held, his silent promise to keep creating. His life was a cycle of highs and lows, each painting a victory and a reminder of struggle. Even friends who admired him feared his breakdowns, leaving Vincent torn between gratitude and guilt. By early 1890, he moved to Auvers-sur-Oise, hoping a change of scene would bring peace. Yet doubts followed him like a ghost. Each new village path and church spire reminded him of battles fought inside. Under Dr. Gachet's care, he found brief comfort. The doctor listened and encouraged him to paint without fear. But Vincent's mind wandered back to shadows, and he questioned whether he could ever feel whole again. The final months were a blend of hope and fear. He painted more works in 2 months than many artists in years. Each canvas was a step toward healing, yet fear lurked behind every stroke. Though challenges weighed him down, they also shaped his art. Pain sharpened his vision, giving color its deepest meaning. Without struggle, his masterpieces, born of turmoil, might never have existed. Vincent's failures taught him resilience. He faced rejection, illness, and despair, yet he kept painting. His courage lies in his refusal to surrender his vision, brush in hand against the darkness. Vincent's art began to shine after his lifetime, his bold colors and swirling lines inspiring artists around the world to push boundaries and feel deeply through every brushstroke. Today, museums from Amsterdam to New York display his paintings. People travel miles to stand before the starry night and feel the heartbeat of a restless mind captured in vivid blues and yellows. His influence spans beyond art into psychology and wellness. His letters reveal the power of creativity to heal, reminding us that expressing pain can transform it into beauty that touches many hearts. Vincent's sunflowers still glow in classrooms and cafes, symbols of hope and resilience. They teach us that even in darkness, we can reach toward light, drawing strength from simple joys and bright petals. Modern artists credit him for showing that emotion matters more than perfection. His raw, honest style opened doors for expressionism and abstract art, proving that truth resonates deeper than polished technique. Schools use his life story to teach students about perseverance. They learn that failure is not the end, but a step toward growth, and that passion pursued with honesty can create a lasting legacy. On social media, fans share memes of Van Gogh's ear story alongside images of his work, blending humor with admiration. His journey reminds us that humanity and creativity go hand in hand, flaws and all. Vincent's courage to follow his vision despite rejection teaches us to trust our inner voice. His life encourages everyone to embrace their unique perspective and to create without fear of misunderstanding. As English learners, we can mirror his determination by practicing daily, learning from mistakes, and painting our own stories with words and phrases that reflect who we are. Vincent's legacy lives in each of us, who dare to dream and to feel deeply. His art shows that beauty and pain coexist, and that by sharing our truths, we add color to the world. And here we arrive at the final chapter of Vincent's journey, dear friends. We have walked through his life from the quiet fields of Zundert to the vibrant streets of Paris and the calm gardens of Saint-Rémy, discovering the colors, shadows, and lessons that shaped his art and spirit. Through every trial and triumph, Vincent taught us that passion can outshine pain. He painted sunflowers reaching for light, starry nights swirling with emotion, and humble peasants with honest dignity, showing that true beauty lives in both joy and sorrow. As English learners, we can mirror his dedication. Each new word is like a brushstroke on our canvas of language. Just as Vincent mixed colors boldly, we mix vocabulary and grammar, creating sentences that reflect our own perspectives and feelings. Thank you for joining English Weaver and sharing this story with us. Your presence brings our channel to life, painting a community of learners who care about art, history, and growth. We appreciate every like, comment, and share from you. If you enjoyed Vincent's journey, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that blend culture and English practice. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode, and invite a friend to learn alongside you as we explore lives that inspire. Now it's your turn to add color to our conversation. Which of Vincent's paintings moves you most, and why? Or what lesson from his life resonates with your own journey of learning and creativity? Leave your thoughts below, and let's connect. Your comments help us grow and help others discover English Weaver. Share this video with fellow art lovers or language learners, and let's build a gallery of ideas where every story sparks a new conversation and a new lesson. We hope you feel inspired to pick up your own brush, whether it is a real canvas or your English notebook. Remember, mistakes are just experiments with color, essential steps toward mastery and expression. Until our next story, keep your heart open to wonder, your mind eager to learn, and your spirit brave enough to face any challenge. Like Vincent, may you find beauty in every moment and courage in every stroke. Thank you for watching and learning with English Weaver. What can we learn from Vincent's life about following our passions despite obstacles? Share your answer in the comments, and let's continue painting our stories together.